Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Dateline SAU, where you can catch all the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University. I'm Alex Ruggles.
And I'm Cody Keppen. It's a common problem in health sciences education. How do schools provide real-life experience for students who are just beginning to learn their disciplines? For SAU nursing students, the answer, simulation.
You're going to do the temp. You're going to figure out the temp. You're going to take time with your meds. Make sure you explain to him what meds that you are giving him and what they're used for. Great. Ready? Everybody know their jobs? Okay.
Hello, Mr. Checkets. I'm Lucas Nastris. I'll be your nurse today. We're going to be taking your vitals. I'll be taking your blood pressure.
The SIMS lab came into being because we wanted to give the students as realistic an opportunity to practice. We try to maintain a really safe environment, confidential, so they feel comfortable trying things that they haven't done before and they can learn from what they're doing.
Blood pressure is 130/90.
The intimidation factor when you walk into a patient room is enormous, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. So when you're walking into the room and you know this is set up like an actual patient room is going to be set up, it changes the whole vibe of the situation, and you just really have to get into professional mode.
I got 16.
They can breathe and they can talk to us and they have pulses, so dealing with different scenarios and learning how to deal with stressful situations. It's really cool. It's almost like having a real patient.
It really helps put into perspective, you know, we learn things in lecture and in lab, and then we get to apply it here, and it really pulls it all together and helps kind of consolidate all the information into something that we can actually apply and use.
There's no replacing working with real patients, but I think it's just an excellent learning environment to make things as realistic as possible and give them a feel for what it's like to be out there in the field. We just want to develop that questioning spirit and that critical thinking in them.
I love this. I would not change it for the world. It's really difficult to get through, but in the end it's 100% worth it. Everyone's willing to help you with whatever you need, and the simulations, this is the closest thing you can get to real life.
The department has 6 mannequins in all. The Sims can mimic many medical situations, including childbirth.
With a long history of celebrating diversity on campus, St. Ambrose University gives its students the opportunity to interact with individuals from around the world. On Wednesday evening, students had the chance to experience poetry and song in native languages of some universities' international scholars. Those who attended were able to experience the spoken art in language ranging from Arabic to Swahili. After the poetry reading, students were encouraged to stay and socialize while enjoying free refreshments. The event was part of St. Ambrose University's Multicultural Week, which seeks to expose Ambrosians to other cultures.
Efforts to help a family from the African country of Togo are bringing SAU students and local volunteers together. SAU's Habitat for Humanity partners with Habitat for Humanity Quad Cities to build simple, decent, and affordable housing in the community. The groups hope to welcome the family to the community and give them a place to raise their young son.
Having a lot of people to help makes all the difference. As St. Ambrose students, we have a responsibility to give back to the community, especially considering how many opportunities this community has given us and how many opportunities this university has given us. So it's very important, and it makes you feel good inside to come and give back to people who are less fortunate or just need some help from folks right here in the Quad Cities.
For information on how you can get involved, you can visit the SAU website.
The St. Ambrose Psychology Club is hosting an alcohol screening event on April 12th. Participants will take a 10-minute survey to determine if they're abusing alcohol.
I feel personally that if one student finds out that, okay, maybe I have a problem or I have the potential to have a problem, then, you know, it's worth all this time we're putting into it and all this effort.
2 tests will be held, one in Rogalski Center, first floor from 11 to 1 p.m. and the other in Cosgrove Dining Hall from 4 to 6:30 p.m. The screening is a community event and is not limited to SAU students.
The Cosgrove cafeteria was alive with music, decorations, and members of the community this past weekend. Dateline SAU's Sarah Clifton has the story.
The sights, sounds, and smells of Greek pizza, Mexican dance, and African gifts all combined to create the 2012 Diversity Festival on Sunday, March 25th in Cosgrove Cafeteria. The event served as the kickoff to Multicultural Week at SAU, and the event celebrates the diversity within SAU and the many cultures throughout the world.
I think it's important to highlight that the world is a big place and that not everybody gets to see it firsthand, so it's important to bring those cultures here to the best extent that we can.
We still have a lot more accepting to do, and it's good to start at a younger generation just because we're willing to make a change.
The Diversity Fest Planning Committee is made up entirely of SAU students, staff, faculty, and alumni. Throughout the event, many performances were held, including a reggae band, the Quad Cities Folkloric Dancers, and the Happy Belgian Brass Band. International and regional foods were offered. Local trade vendors were also on hand to showcase their work and talk about their trades.
It's kind of being out of their comfort zone, being able to like something different that they normally would not have been exposed to.
Puzzles served as the theme for the night. Organizers posed the question, where do you fit in, to those in attendance? The night also served as the kickoff to the Around the World in a Snapshot photo contest. Organizers said that they were pleased with the turnout and especially happy to see the community participate as well. Sarah Clifton, Dateline, SAU.
Even though there are several weeks left in the spring semester, St. Ambrose students are gearing up for the fall registration, starting next week for fall 2012 semester classes, under the direction of the Records and Registration Office.
I think some of the advice I would give you is just take a look at what options are available to each and every one of you. And also take a look at the university catalog. Know what your degree requirements are. And if you have questions, take advantage of the great resources you have, whether it's your academic advisor, or always feel free to stop in our office and ask any questions or concerns you might have.
Students are urged to meet with their advisors and register at their assigned times. Again, the Records and Registration Office can help you if you have any questions or problems.
It was a busy week for St. Ambrose University sports.
The baseball and softball teams are in the thick of the conference action.
And the SAU track team gets things going as the outdoor season gets underway.
Dateline SAU's Annie Smith will be here with some highlights and more coming up after this short break.
Stay tuned.
How's your day going?
It's been pretty good, Ethan. How about yours?
Not so good. Lately, I've been feeling like I don't have what it takes to become a journalist.
Hey, I have just a solution for you.
Really? What do you mean?
Come on, let me show you. The Career Center helped me get a great internship.
An offer like that seems to be the answer to my problem. Thanks, Joe.
No problem. Stop by the Career Center today.
The St. Ambrose track team had a successful indoor season, and the team hopes that success will lead to more good performances as the outdoor season gets underway. Last weekend, the men and women traveled just across the river to compete in the Augustana Viking Open. The men finished 6th in a strong 10-team field, while the women placed 3rd out of 9 teams at the event. Over 100 student athletes are on the SAU track team, and the coaching staff was encouraged by several strong performances last weekend.
You obviously want to win a conference championship. Hopefully that'll be in the works for us, both on the men's and the women's side. Also, track's such an individual sport. You know, you start looking at one-on-one setting goals and breaking personal bests and qualifying for nationals. And already we've got 6 or 7 athletes qualified for the outdoor national championships after just the first weekend. So you set a lot of your goals that way.
Tomlin added that St. Ambrose performed well in the past at their 2 big meets of the outdoor season, the Drake Relays and the NAI National Championships, and he anticipates that they will do just as well or even better again this spring. With a #1 ranking and the national tournament just a few weeks away, the men's volleyball team hoped to wrap up the regular season with perfection, an undefeated season in the conference. And the Bees do just that by downing Cardinal Stritch 3-1 in the regular season finale in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. With the win, the Bees grabbed the top spot in the Mid-American Men's Volleyball Intercollegiate Conference. The Bees are 28-2 overall, heading into the postseason conference tournament. After helping St. Ambrose finish the regular season with a pair of road wins, Dan Daljaudis was named the NAIA Men's Volleyball Player of the Week. The senior outside hitter from Westmont, Illinois, averaged more than 4 kills per set and finished with a .317 hitting percentage in wins over Clark and Cardinal Stritch. Daljaudis leads the Bees this season with 361 total kills. The St. Ambrose baseball team was looking to recover from last week's disappointing late-inning loss to UW-Platteville, with a busy week of games, including several big conference matchups. The Bees quickly got back to their winning ways with a sweep over the Clark Crusaders. In Game 1, the Bees got on the scoreboard quickly on a 3-run bomb by Alex Bailing. An amazing pitching performance by Zach Rolfe did the rest. Rolfe once again went all 7 innings and gave up only 1 run while striking out 6. In Game 2, the Bees jumped to an early 5-0 lead, but the Crusaders made it a game before the Bees were able to complete the doubleheader sweep. In Game 3 the next day, the teams combined for 18 runs, with St. Ambrose eventually pulling out the victory. Tyler Gillis had a 4-for-5 day with 3 runs scored and 2 runs batted in. Following a doubleheader loss to Missouri Baptist, the Bees resumed conference play with a doubleheader sweep of the Ashford Saints. They broke Game 1 open with a 3-run 4th inning, leading to a 6-2 win. In Game 2, Tyler Gillis hit a shot to the gap in left center to score Jonathan Golden in the bottom of the 10th inning to complete the sweep. The Bees are now 14-16 and are currently in first place in the MCC with a 6-1 record. The SAU softball team had a few doubleheaders this week that didn't go all that well. After dropping 4 straight games to St. Xavier and Grandview, the Queen Bees looked to find a spark at home versus Iowa Wesleyan. But the slump continued as SAU dropped 2 more contests. Key errors in each of the ballgames contributed to the Queen Bee woes. The losing streak was finally snapped against a very good team as the Queen Bees took Game 2 in a doubleheader at Augustana. Nicole Garland threw a nice 3-hit shutout in the Queen Bee win. The Queen Bees are now 12-14 on the season, 1-5 in the conference. And that's it for sports this week. I'm Annie Smith.
Thanks, Annie. And that will do it for this week's edition of Dateline SAU.
Be sure to join us every Friday and Monday evening at 6:30 for the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
As March comes to an end, every prankster knows what that means. April Fool's Day. So we asked students to tell us what pranks they're pulling on that special day.
We will leave you with their responses. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
For my April Fool's Day prank, I'm going to tell Res Life that I'm not returning next year, even though I am.
I plan on showing up to practice in a cast so my coach thinks I'm injured.
I think that I'm going to do on April Fool's Day is going to take my roommate's blow dryer without her knowing and fill it with either baby powder or flour, and then when she goes to use it, she just gets covered in baby powder. And I think that'd be awesome.
April Fool's, I'm going to saran wrap the toilet to get my roommates.
I am going to make my roommates cupcakes but use toothpaste instead of frosting.
April Fool's, something I did in high school was to go out and buy like tons of Post-it notes, and I covered my friend's whole vehicle with Post-it notes. So maybe that might happen to a certain friend this year.